Hi, and thanks for joining us here at Rose Quartz Mediumship podcast, where we just adore anything and everything healing and metaphysically based. Today, I want to talk a little bit about frequency and how to change your reality. The frequency or vibration that you put out into the world is what determines your reality. Our frequency is really based on our emotions, our inner sensations, our feelings, and our thought patterns. So that frequency, that vibration that we put out into the world determines our reality based off of law of attraction. And I think a lot of people are pretty comfortable with that concept, but they don't know how to change their frequency, right? It's like, well, I'm exercising and I'm drinking more water and I'm eating lots of fruits and vegetables. How come I don't feel different? How come I don't have a new reality? I'm trying to change my frequency. And I want to give you a couple of analogies that might help you to understand how to change your frequency. So, the stories that we hold in our unconscious or subconscious are the primary driver of our frequency. And so using somatics, which is a body-based approach, it means in relation to the body versus in relation to the mind, is a phenomenal way at getting to the stories that you're holding in your unconscious or in your subconscious, right? The body is the voice of our unconscious. And so using a body-based approach to access the stories that are being stored in your nervous system is a phenomenal way at getting to these stories and releasing ones that are not serving you. So, I want you to think about two people who are living here on Earth. One individual is living in poverty, and one individual is living in significant financial abundance. They're both here. They are both on the earthly plane. But they are experiencing their reality in wildly different ways. I think everybody can kind of see and feel that, right? So as a human, our frequency determines our reality through law of attraction. And our subconscious is the largest driver of our frequency. So if we want to change our frequency, we need to change our unconscious or our subconscious programming, the way that we are unconsciously or subconsciously thinking and feeling about things. And sometimes when I'm talking to someone about this, it feels a little bit confusing to them. And I always like to give the analogy of a radio. So there are different frequencies that we can tune into through shifting the stories that we're holding in our subconscious. And those frequencies are going to determine our reality. It's very similar to the radio. And I want you to stick with me here. So if I'm adjusting the dial of the radio and I tune in to one particular station, that is the station that I am listening to. But simultaneously, there are many, 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 many other stations that are playing at the same time. The same is true for us with frequency. You are tuned into one frequency. You are listening to one radio station. But there are countless other radio stations that are playing at the exact same time. And it's about tuning into a different radio station if you don't like the radio station that you're listening to. If you've listened to it for long enough and you're ready to listen to some new music, change the radio station, adjust the dial. And we do that, we adjust the dial through looking at our subconscious or unconscious programming that is running in the background. And it changes the way that we feel about all sorts of different things. When we change the way that we feel, changes our frequency, and it changes our reality through law of attraction. There are so many realities that you have access to, that you can tune into at any point in time. You just have to adjust the dial. You just have to change what radio station you're listening to. And the radio station that you're listening to is largely determined by the stories that you're holding in your nervous system, in your unconscious or subconscious. So, just like the radio, you and every other human in this human experience has the ability to tune into a different station at any point in time. And the way that you tune into a new radio station is through changing the stories that are driving your reality, that are held in your nervous system in the unconscious. And if you are ready to change your reality, start accessing the stories that you're holding in your unconscious or your subconscious. Somatics is a phenomenal way at changing the dial. Thanks for joining us here at Rose Quartz Mediumship Podcast. And I hope that you have a beautiful morning, day, evening, or night, wherever it is that you are tuning in and hearing this from. We really appreciate having you here with us.